new Travis Scott, the threes.
Yes.
The Jordan threes that they show. So they moved from the 1 model to the 3.
What'd you think?
Trash. It's trash.
The dunks was fire. I like
It's
the
trash,
dunks when they
dog.
came out.
Like a backwards swoosh on a 3.
It's crazy.
Like, you don't
See, now
you don't really fuck with these.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Rotation Roundtable live on Twitch. It's Amazon Music, and the gang is all here. As always, I'm Speedy Morman. To my right, we have what?
You're not just Speedy
Oh,
today?
pardon me. Did we update the lower third? It should say just Speedy. That's my new name on the show. But we have Big Nyla, not the little one.
Yes.
We have Gabe, Mr. Step In, Step Out, Don't Get Stepped On.
You always look so nervous when you say it.
Because I'm like, bro, I don't want to mess this up.
No, you got it, bro.
I
You
really
got it.
don't want to mess this
It's like
up.
second nature, just like me.
I'm
on.
almost there. It's like, step in, step out, don't get stepped on.
Yeah, we good. You got
There
it.
you go.
You got
All
it.
right. We have our OG Rob Markman in the building with a great sweater. I love the sweater.
Thank you,
Man.
sir.
Coogee sweater.
Expensive sweater.
Expensive. I mean,
Nah.
the chain already says expensive. but
I know,
then
that's what I
the
said.
chain-
You act like I never wore this chain
No, I
before.
mean, plus you got the 18 karat gold glasses. You know what I'm saying?
Did we get the drip check segment
Is-
started yet?
Yes, we have-
Can we get like a zoom in on his
Y'all
chain
need
too?
to cut
Like,
it out. Now there's a lot of pressure every week.
No, but listen, you haven't let us down yet.
one of these days he's gonna come in a sweatsuit like me and Speedy.
Yeah. That's the end of the world. When Rob comes in with a sweatsuit, something is going on. But we have a special guest in the building, and he's sitting in the middle of the table for good reason.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of the show, and apparently already a good friend to the audience. Why don't you introduce yourself? Let the people know who you are.
What's good, y'all? My name is Jacques Morel. I'm a content creator. I've worked with pretty much everybody except you, Gabe. I don't think Speedy and I, we haven't worked together.
No,
but
never officially.
Never officially.
Just quick once on a live stream.
In a live stream, but you know, been like in the game, I guess, the journalism, hip hop journalism thing for about like 10 years now.
Whew.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
Talk to him.
You know, like I've turned 34 in 2 weeks. You know, I worked with Rob a long time ago. We worked at Genius together. You know, I make TikToks. I got 30,000 followers on TikTok.
Amen.
You know,
Keep
These
going.
are top tier, well detailed TikToks. No, seriously, I learned so much watching your stuff.
Oh, thank you. I'm always happy to put you on. You know.
Yeah.
That's why we're happy to have you. And I feel like still that was a little modest of an introduction because you really do have a lot of numbers on the board. So we're honored to have you here.
No problem. Let's get some W's in the chat. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
throw some
Shouts
W's
to
in the chat.
Please throw some
shouts to
W's in the
Throw some
chat.
W's in the chat. All right, well, let's jump into some quick conversation before we get into our big topics. 50, Ferrari F50, Queen's very own, is going apparently on his last ever tour. It's called the Final Lap Tour. He said that he's already sold over 500,000 tickets in a week since announcing the dates.
feel like I
Before we
need
even
to
get
see
to it,
it.
you made a face. What was the
I
face?
don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Like I know Rob made out like we were in the pre-pro, but I'm just surprised. Like I mean, maybe it's international. I just didn't know 50 Cent was that big of a draw in 2023. You know, like, you know, I feel like 20 years since Get Rich or Die Trying. I remember buying that album freshman year of high school. I'm dating myself, and that was everything at the time. You know. But I'm just surprised. Like, but he added dates, and to add dates, it must be real.
Must be real.
You know what I mean?
I'm excited for the tour for sure. I think because it's Get Rich or Die Trying and it's hip hop 50th and because 50 Cent is such a staple in hip hop,
Yeah.
I feel like between like the older generation and the newer generation, 50 is one of those artists who penetrate through to both. So that's why I'm like, I think this was good.
I'm not surprised he sold that many tickets.
Yeah.
One, because he's from New York. First of all.
But like internationally,
I'm
but not
waiting.
just
I'm
New
waiting.
York.
It's a knowledge joke. It's a knowledge
I'm
joke.
waiting for
It's
the
a
two.
knowledge joke. But I do think it might be internationally, but I
it's a
think we also have to remember that 50 has like fans outside of music. Now, not saying that like someone who watches Power might be like, oh, I want to go see 50,
a very rich fan.
but I mean, like, if you think about it, like the way that 50 has kind of transcended just music, I would not be surprised if people who might have just been fans through Power might have not have watched or, you know, was in tune with 50 in the early 2000s, bought tickets to go on this last tour, you know, because I feel like since Power and since everything he's been doing in the last 10 years has come about, he's definitely gotten a lot of new fans, you know, in ways that weren't through just music.
Exactly.
So I'm not surprised by this at all.
Rob, what'd you think?
Yeah, I don't know why it's any surprise. I mean, when we see Ludacris back on tour with Janet Jackson, you know,
Well, that was a surprise.
There's just a lot of nostalgia, I think, now. Especially, you know, I have this 20-year rule. It's like for a new generation, like 20 years ago was Get Rich or Die Trying. It's a good sweet spot. You know what I mean? I think a generation now knows more about 50 Cent than they do about Rakim. right? You like, you know what I'm saying? It just translates differently. So it's a good sweet spot, nostalgia. You look at like Lovers and Friends is really that 20-year spot, that lineup. So I think it's just a good time for nostalgia. And 50, we forget one of the biggest debuts in hip hop. There was nothing like that time with Get Rich or Die Trying, and he got super hits. Yeah, I'm trying to get a ticket, man.
Yeah.
On
Over
top of-
800,000 albums.
Right. On top, I was gonna say like it has been a long time since he did a tour, right, of this magnitude. So, and it being the last one, I feel like there's been enough time that people haven't gotten to see him live, or enough people around the country or the world, like we're talking international, haven't gotten to see him live. And if this is their last chance to go see him live, and he's not gonna be at festivals anymore, maybe he won't do another Lovers and Friends. And
I think to explain my reticence though, because like with the two examples that you mentioned, like with Ludacris and Janet Jackson, I could see Janet Jackson doing it, but I feel like that's a combined ticket. Or Lovers and Friends, it's like a combined ticket. So like I'm just like, it's just 50 Cent on his own.
Nah, Busta Rhymes opening for him, actually.
Yeah, and
So
Jeremiah is going to be
Busta,
joining on one of his shows too.
Oh, yeah.
And like, so that's why I was curious, because one thing I was writing in my notes before this, I was like, 50 Cent is like considered old school now. Like he's
He
That
is.
crushes me to hear.
and he is old. Like, yes, we are old heads. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he is old school. Like, like
Now that I looked at each other like,
I'm
26. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think it's 21-year-olds going out to buy the tickets. I don't think it's the same
Yeah,
people buy the
yeah,
tickets to go
Right.
see
Yeah.
Travis Scott.
Right.
It's the people who've grown up on 50 Cent, 30, 40 years old, who have the money to spend and be like, you know what? I remember how this made me feel.
Yeah.
I'm going out there. I'm gonna relive this again. Yeah, it makes all the sense. in the
And
world.
again, with it being hip hop 50th, I think everybody's just more like want to relive, like the 50 years.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a part of it.
I mean, someone's dad is going to be saying, "What up, gangsta?"
Yeah.
That don't go, by the way. Up here.
I have a lot of family members that are gonna go. Not only because it's 50, but it's Big Queens. We got to be in the building.
Southside.
Real quick before we move on, I just want to read his exact quote. Here's what he said. Because ticket sales are doing so well, they're adding new markets. I won't be running around like this no more. I got to do my film and TV stuff and got a lot of other things going on behind the scenes that I got to work on, so I won't be out touring as much as I've been touring. I'm having fun this time because it's set up to enjoy myself. We're not feeling pressure. What I would think is funny is, you guys remember that story about 50 buying out like the first couple rows of Ja Rule's
Yeah,
show
yeah, yeah,
because he
yeah.
hates Ja Rule? I wonder if there would be a funny play there. I would love if Ja Rule
Don't
just
spark
sent
nothing,
a little shot
man.
back.
I mean, look, let's just see how those first. Is he playing like he's not playing like MSG, right? Is it like
Maybe.
Bowery
Well,
Ballroom?
in New
I
York,
think-
he
I
could
think they're
probably
doing
do
Barclays
MSG.
Center.
Is doing Barclays?
I
Like, in
believe.
New York,
In New York, he
Yeah.
could do
yes,
the
in
Garden or Barclays.
Yes, yeah, 100%. But it's like in Nashville, maybe. Can he do that? You know,
You sleeping, dog?
I'm
like
dude,
Get
I'm
Rich or Die
dreaming.
Trying.
Like-
did
He said,
10 million sold. You know what I'm saying? Over
Yeah.
10 million sold. That's a diamond record. 50 built a career off of touring, especially internationally. Like, it's just pocket. Like 50 translated. 50's a New York artist.
yeah.
Facts.
50 translated outside of New York. He didn't sell
Facts.
10 million records in New York.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
50's a worldwide artist.
Right.
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
When I
agree.
studied abroad and I would go to the club, they used to play mad like Afrobeat and Latin records and soca and all songs I didn't care about. But the two American records I for sure would hear is 50 Cent in the Club and that Eminem song, "With a Real Slim Shady, Please Stand."
Oh, Slim Shady.
That
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I was just like, it's so random, but
It's called The Real Slim Shady. You
I
just said
couldn't
it.
remember. I couldn't remember.
Just said you remember the hook.
But I mean, even like now, like if you go to the club today, whether it be like the younger generation, they still play 50. Like they still, at least you get 150 song off in the club at a time.
Look at how many people over the past couple of years remade Many Men. I don't know how many Many
Yeah,
Men
yeah,
samples
yeah.
we've had.
Right.
Like,
Please no more.
Oh,
And
you
How
think-
to
Oh
Rob.
my
No more.
gosh.
Pop
yeah.
Smoke had a bunch of 50
Yeah.
I actually
remakes
did
too.
like
So
Pop
it's like
Smoke's 50
Many
many.
me
Men
too,
Flip, I
yeah.
did too.
But then you think about like through that, Pop also probably brought a new fan base to 50 that wasn't maybe there
They're, like,
before of
digging the
younger
sample,
artists. So like
yeah,
you got to
yeah.
think that some of the people who like the sample were like, oh, maybe I'll go buy
Because there's a
tickets.
lot there. If you go and to look at the discography, there's a ton there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I would love for him to do like kind of like a Jay-Z B-sides like mixtape tour. It'd be like nice to see him do like his early mixtapes,
Right.
you know, like on tour. But
I
I
would
would
love it.
pay money to see that, you know.
Right, I would definitely. Me too.
Yeah, who
for
cares?
sure.
You know, who cares?
Oh, actually, yeah.
All right, let's jump into another quick joint. Chat, just know that we see you. We'll get to your comments in just a second. Nick Cannon, man. I feel like Nick Cannon is always in the news. He's good at this. Good at staying in the news. But during an episode this past Monday of The Daily Cannon, he said that he would rather go see Bruno Mars in concert over Beyonce.
That's violence.
Here's what he said. Have you ever seen Bruno Mars perform? It's fire. because he got his whole crew on stage with him and they be doing the little dances. No offense, but I would rather go to a Bruno Mars show than a Beyonce or Taylor Swift show. Who got more hits? Beyonce got more hits than Bruno Mars. This then led into a conversation that happened on the show. I'm curious, just to open it up to y'all quick. We don't got all day for this. Just who do y'all feel, who do y'all feel has, well, for one, who would you rather go see perform, and who do you think has more hits?
Well, I feel like, well, obviously we know Beyonce, but I would say like how Rob had called Beta on the first episode of this show a professional shit stir.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing about Nick
Nigga.
Cannon. He knew what he was doing with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knew what he was. Look, we're talking about
Look
it.
at him.
right? Look at us. We're
He
talking
got
about
us.
it.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Man is like what, 15 kids, 12 kids?
Yeah.
Like you gotta pay for them somehow.
I haven't seen Beyonce live yet, and I think if he just wanted to give credit to Bruno Mars' live performance, then he should just give credit to Bruno Mars' live performance.
Right.
Bruno Mars is an amazing performer between the band, the set.
Generational talent.
Yeah, it's different. But
He stretched
don't,
an album out for like 4 years too.
but don't do that to Beyonce.
I am a huge fan of Bruno Mars' music. I think he's an incredible performer. He was actually my rotation pick, 2 weeks ago with
Yeah.
Versace on the floor. But I think this is blasphemous.
Yeah.
But I can't help.
Agreed.
Violence.
I
It's
can't
violence.
help
Yeah,
but to pass the ball over to my
Nah,
brother
I-
Rob
I mean,
Markman,
Rob got-
who's
nah,
ready
but
to
hold on,
lock
hold on.
and loaded.
But because we act like first it's a preference, right? But we're talking about top tier artists. So let's not talk about Bruno, like he's garbage. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody's insinuated
But,
this.
but he's not crazy for being like, yo, I prefer to see Bruno. First of all, Bruno Mars, I saw 24K.
Incredible.
The tour twice, amazing.
I saw it twice, too.
The last Beyonce tour I went to was On the Run Part 2, amazing. So you really can't go wrong either way. And then when you talk about who has the most hits, it's like saying like, yo, this person has $1 billion and this person has $1.2 billion.
Yeah.
They are both in a stratosphere that nobody could reach. But for people that are sleeping on Bruno, Just the Way You Are, #1 Billboard Hot 100, 13 times platinum single. Grenade, #1, 10
Love that
times
song.
platinum. Lazy Song, #4, 7 times platinum. Locked Out of Heaven, #1 record, Diamond. When I Was Your Man, #1 record, 11 times platinum. Treasure, #5, 5 times platinum. 24K Magic, #4, 5 times platinum. That's What I Like, #1 Diamond. I could go on and on and on. I mentioned like almost 4 or 5 records over 10 million sold.
Yeah, Diamond, yeah.
Of course, Beyonce, Crazy in Love, Baby Boy, both #1 records, multi-platinum, Me, Myself, and I, Naughty Girl, Check on It, Drunk in Love, Single Ladies. Like, you can go hit for sure. But what I'm saying is people were acting like Nick was so crazy for saying Bruno Mars. Like, Bruno Mars is in the conversation, dog. Like,
Sure.
that's top-tier artist, top-tier performer, and the hits speak for themselves.
I mean,
So I'm
they
like,
bowed out
put a
in
little
the
more
second Grammy,
respect
yeah.
on Bruno Mars' name.
I love it. Came with the numbers, came with the stats.
Nah.
Listen, I love Bruno Mars. Jack, you were just saying something. You said,
Well, I mean, they backed out of the Grammy Awards this year. Like, like that's some
Silk
boss
Sonic?
level shit. Yeah.
Because they won too much. They were like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everybody got sick of Bruno Mars winning. He was like, you know what? We got our one. Y'all are good. They kind of say he was cheating because they won in 1 year because the single and the album
Yeah.
came so far apart. He said, we got ours. We're good. The rest of y'all can have it.
I think it's also just like, this is just generally when it comes to Beyonce, it's like when you juxtapose somebody next to her, people tend to put their claws out no matter what. It's like, how dare you possibly bring up this other person as like equal to the queen?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like kind of like an overcorrection in a way, right? Because with even the numbers, what you just brought up, yeah, Bruno Mars definitely deserves to be in the more than the conversation. Like, we're arguing over millionaires over here.
That-
You know what I mean? Like,
That's all I'm saying. I actually listen to Beyonce, enjoy Beyonce as an artist way more than Bruno Mars, right? I'm not that big of a Bruno Mars fan, but I went to a Bruno Mars concert not being that big of a fan, but like, yo, this is one of the greatest shows I ever seen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, you got to give it up. That's all I'm saying is don't diminish Bruno. Don't act like he's crazy. It's not like he said, oh, I'd rather go see Ice Spice, right? Yeah, not to decide than Beyonce, but it's a clear fucking distinction. Like, we're talking about two artists on the same level.
he's stirring the shit, though.
Yeah.
He's definitely stirring
he
it.
knows what he's doing
He's doing
still.
shit, yeah.
He does know what he's doing.
Tune
All
into his
right.
AMP show and then tune into our AMP show, me and
Yes.
Nyla's every
Tuesday,
Tuesday and Thursday,
Thursday.
Rotation Radio, shameless plug.
What
That
a
was
great
real
plug
smooth.
that was.
Y'all are professionals. Oh my
Great
God.
job. I
gotta give you that.
Well done. Well
That's
done. Well done.
Great job. All right, well, before we started, we asked the chat a quick question. We asked them, cap or fact, Travis Scott owns pop culture. Cap or fact? Now, before we get into the comments, let's talk about it and give it a little context. It seems like Travis is getting ready to drop his new album, Utopia.
I told y'all last week it was coming.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Rob
called
has
it.
never lied.
I never disagree with you.
We've seen sort of these cryptic images pop up on our timelines. We see a security guard holding some sort of briefcase that's handcuffed to his wrist. Do you feel like there's anything inside of that briefcase? Because if I had to bet, it's empty.
Of course it's empty.
It's absolutely not a damn thing in that briefcase.
Well, the one thing about Travis Scott is gonna smoke a rollout. You know what I'm saying? Like if you looked at the rollout for his past couple projects, Astroworld, Rodeo, Days Before the Rodeo, like it's only gotten bigger and better every single time, and every single time has been just as cryptic as the last time. So especially with everything that has happened with him over the past couple of years, and then just kind of like the lead up into this project, because this project was definitely supposed to come out years ago. I think of course he's gonna do all the cryptic shit and take it up 1,000 levels, you know, because this is what people have been waiting for, and it's kind of like I want to say it's a make or break for him, but it's kind of like you want to see when it comes out, because you want to see if he's still delivering the way that he's delivering, and if he can keep that hold on pop culture that he had before, where he was still doing, like, if you went to a Travis Scott set at a festival, he was doing the same set for like 4 years straight. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen it 10 different times.
And the thing is, it still hits every single time.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, all right, cool. Like, what's next?
It's a
You
good
know what I'm
live
saying?
record, and I do think it's a make or break for Travis. I feel like if this record flops, like he hasn't dropped in 5 years, he's still going through. I think he's still being sued for the Astroworld mass casualty incident, which happened, and I feel like if this record doesn't deliver, like it will not look good on like the aura that is Travis Scott. But the one thing is, I feel like Travis is also very much a student of like the people that like he's part of their coaching tree, and the whole having the record in the briefcase reminds me of when Jay-Z and Kanye used to have the Watch the Throne on and they had it in their belts and they were like walking around with it, right? Back before they were trying to prevent the leaks, right? Like I feel like it's a little bit of that, because I think the briefcase is probably empty, but I do agree that like it does kind of build a hype. And also like how are artists like making, and maybe some of y'all will have a better answer to this, but how are artists like making music and preventing from being leaked? Like is that still a thing? Carrying around a disk drive, that's still a thing?
I don't think we're like
that's
newer
just
artists. Artists just kind of like do whatever now.
I think that's just for show. But I do want to ask a question, mainly to, I guess, you, Gabe, because I just know you're a big Travis Scott fan. But it's like, are you expecting Travis to come with the same sound even after such like a life-changing experience? Or do you think it's going to be like a more polished version? Because even like Astroworld, I feel like was a more polished version
Of Rodeo, yeah.
Yeah. So like, what do you think the sound is going to be?
I mean, I think I'd be lying if I said I didn't want something more, because, you know, after everything that's happened, I want some self-reflection. I think it's kind of like, I think we had said it on AMP once, like, I think my biggest problem with, like, Megan Thee Stallion's last project is there wasn't enough, like, reflection for me on it. Wasn't enough, like, personal records on it for me to enjoy it properly.
Yeah.
So while I do want like the type of records that Travis is known for, the mosh pit, like of course I want that, like No Bystanders, right? Of course I want another one of those, but like I also want like another Coffee Bean, you know, or something more like
I feel
about.
like he's in an interesting.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's in an interesting limbo right now.
Yeah.
But aside from Coffee Bean, like, can he do that? Like, even in his interviews, like, he really doesn't demonstrate that he can reflect in that way.
Well,
You know
I
what
think-
I mean? Like,
Everybody got their own emotions.
Right, I was about to say,
This
like,
is true.
he might not be able to speak on it verbally in an interview,
But he
like
could
with
do it in the
Charlamagne, but he
music.
could do it through the music.
But, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, he did Coffee Bean. You know what I mean? Like, but can we get like a couple records talk about being a father? You know
He's
what I
had
mean?
the
Like,
time to do it. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, can he do that? Like, or like, is he really only going to give us like those hype records? Because no matter what, the record's gonna drop like a bomb and it's gonna do
yeah,
well.
people are
Like,
gonna.
yeah.
it's gonna do well
People are gonna do
regardless.
So
Right?
I'm imagining like 5 minutes.
Exactly.
1,000%.
But it's like, can he give us that reflection that you're talking about? 'Cause I know Megan can, so I
Yeah.
can see why you would.
No, I know, man. That's why I was disappointed,
It's like,
because I know
get
she
it?
can.
Can we get it from Travis? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, can you get that?
I think we can. I think we can, and that's what I'm hoping for on this project. I mean, like I said, I want the records that we know him for, and I want those introspective records. Like, I want another Coffee Bean. Like, I want the second side of the project. I want that reflection after we get through all the stuff that we love him for. And you know what? As long as Mike Dean got his hand on the other briefcase, we in good hands. We in good hands.
Let me pose the question that we posed to the chat to you all, and Rob, we'll start with you. Do you feel like Travis has a permanent hold on pop culture, even beyond the music?
No.
Does anyone have a permanent?
No,
Oh, well,
it's
permanent, yeah,
been-
permanent, no,
like,
yeah.
like you got to get back to that. Like, so much has happened since Astroworld, like the McDonald's Happy Meal and the raging, right? The merch, the thing,
The sneakers.
We just haven't seen that energy in a while, and I don't know that. Again, I think a lot of it depends on the music and if it will flip back on. If he can even go back to that. I just remember the McDonald's meal and all the kids in front of the McDonald's, like, they're not going to try to recreate events like that again based off of what happened at the Astroworld concert. There's going to have to be a bit of a retooling, re-strategizing how to do it. And I think, to Gabe's point, I think it all kind of starts with the music and the honesty in the music. I think he can recapture it. I think he can gear up, and I think he absolutely can. But a permanent chokehold just because he had it 5-6 years ago, nah. We've seen traditionally, I don't think the audience is that
loyal
to anybody.
I disagree.
I disagree
because
well, let's hear why.
I'm actually gonna bring up an example of me and Nyla for this, right? Because I think of, like we said, he's very much a student of the people who came before him. You mentioned Hove and Kanye and Cudi. Kanye has always managed to keep a chokehold on culture through clothing, through shoes.
Him 5,000 times,
exactly.
and he's still here.
But we know Kanye more personally.
Yeah.
There's way more.
Wait,
the music is
Robinson.
Wait. I got this, right? So, like, you think about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy Kanye, and then years later with The Life of Pablo Kanye. Those are two different eras where people, like, I don't know how old I was when.
Different entry points.
With different entry points, right? But me and Nyla, while we might have been around somewhere for both those entry points, when we were mature enough to really be able to go out, go to shows, go get merch, is when Life of Pablo was out. And me and Nyla waited in line at one of the pop-up shops back in the day when we were interns.
3 hours.
3 hours, right? And I'm just saying that, like, Travis I still think that he still can have that impact to make people wait in line, to make people go as crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I think he can too. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm saying it's not automatically there waiting for him.
I think it is automatically.
I think you got to unlock it. I think
a piece of it is.
I think the music has to hit.
He's been in the game too long. Like, the fan base is already built. Like, I think whether we like it or not, how I always look at it, I'm sorry to always bring up J. Cole. If this was to happen to J. Cole, would I still care? Would I still support it? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
If J. Cole went through something like that, took a break, came back, I don't even care if the project is flopping. If J. Cole's dropping a new Puma shoe, I'm getting it.
But that's the artist that gave you Love Yours.
Yeah.
That's the artist that gave you Folding Clothes.
But no, I'm not.
That's the artist that, like, there's so many personal records that you're investing in.
But let's not discount a large majority of the youth that does look at Travis Scott and says, Travis Scott saved my life. There are people who feel emotionally connected to this man in some way.
The content. For this question, it's not about the content.
It's about
of
the
music.
experiences too.
It's just about your connection to the artist.
Right.
So there's like just certain artists, I don't care what they drop, I'm going to tap into.
No, but I agree with Rob. I don't think anybody has a permanent chokehold. I feel like a lot of Travis's chokehold is like based on hype. Like, the sneakers are gonna sell it, of course, right? Like the records are gonna be big, they're gonna be bombastic, they're gonna sound great live, right? But if there isn't much there, if there isn't much depth there, if there isn't enough to kind of lock in the people to like who like Travis is, right? Especially because his audience, his fan base is getting older. And what they're into is getting older. And it's J. Cole, we've kind of grown with him. We've been able to, like you said, Rob named all those records, Love It, Change Clothes. We've seen him have kids. We see how sensitive, even like how he was talking about it All My Life, how he cries all the time because he has kids. And he doesn't know what made him so sensitive. It's like, if I'm a fan that's been listening to Cole for 10 plus years, I'm able to track his growth. But with Travis, I'm like, okay, this man has been raging for 10 years. What's next? Like,
I'll say
It
this.
hasn't been 10. Well, it's like 8 years.
Look, I'll say this because I'm not like a Travis Scott stan. That's why I asked the questions to Gabe, because I know that's his favorite artist. And I put things in a lens of from my favorite artists. So that being said, content wise, is his fan base going to outgrow raging? And will he be able to keep up with his fan base? Yes, that's something that needs to be discussed, and I guess we will see based on the content. But I will say, for people to have a permanent hold on pop culture, it's like we've seen it been done before. Jay-Z has a permanent hold. Beyonce Drake has a Cole.
But in those moments comes reinvention, because like Beyonce reinvented herself with Renaissance, right?
That's not the debate. I agree.
No, I know, but like in order to have a permanent chokehold, there has to be constant reinvention. And even what you mentioned with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, right? Like, and then Life of Pablo, right? Like, there's reinvention, there's changing, there's new eras. Like, that's the whole pop thing, right? New eras, right?
And we've seen Travis reinvent.
I was about to say,
time
he's
after
reinvented.
time.
I just think he can't come back to the rage thing again for what happened at Astroworld.
I disagree.
I think-
I disagree.
For the audience getting older.
Well, the audience is getting older.
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? For like, I think there's a variety of reasons. I think there needs to be a new
I'll say
twist to
this.
what we're about to get.
Let's listen to the biggest Travis Scott fan in the world that I know.
Right.
They could tell us best.
Right.
Gabe.
But Gabe even said, I want more coffee
he
beans.
Does.
No, I do want more coffee bean, but that doesn't mean that like
We're saying the same
But
thing.
no, but here's the thing. At the same time, it's like, you know, I might be 26, but I've been at shows. I think it might have been the JID show. I don't remember, but there was a show I was at Terminal 5 where they played No Bystanders, and I got that twitch. Like,
No,
like I
yeah.
started getting that. I got that itch to like want to
Got that
go. Like,
sparkle in my
I
eye.
feel like no matter what age you are, like if you grew up listening to his music, like I was at one of his first shows when it was like maybe a 200-person venue in Long Island in like Amityville. Like if
Oh
you,
my God.
like if you, yeah, that was mad long ago.
Amityville Music Hall?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like so if you
I grew up like
if,
5 minutes from there. yeah.
exactly. So if you grew up like over the course of his career through all this, like I think whatever he puts out, I'm gonna enjoy it regardless. I do want that, but I also still want the rage music. You know,
Okay.
there's a balance that you could get both.
Same way y'all don't care about Drake not evolving with his content and still talking about hoes is the same way Travis can do the same thing.
And also, you should allow him to grow into the folding clothes person that J. Cole became, because that wasn't an overnight thing.
I don't want another folding clothes record
Yeah,
I don't want- I
from
don't-
anybody.
I
just
don't
want a
another
full
folding clothes
clothes
record,
for
but
it.
I'm just saying,
I want
you gotta
more
let him
make it
you
feel
gotta let him
good.
grow into that
Clothes
point.
records.
Yeah, that was
Love
just an
the women.
example. I don't
Gabe,
want
yes or no only. You, 26 years old today, if Fuck the Club Up comes on and you're in the spot, are you raging?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I can
Yeah.
totally see it.
What's your cutoff age? Then?
Huh?
What's your cutoff, like 28?
Whenever my knees start
30?
hurting.
Fair enough. Let's jump into some of these comments. We got Lady Nay from VA says, no, Travis Scott does not have a permanent hold on pop culture. Marsha in Montclair TV says, owns pop culture? Kylie got him that big exposure. Kanye would be the best choice for owning pop culture. Rob has a visual reaction. What's up?
The
Bullseye.
Kylie.
I mean, who I don't know, was that?
Can we scroll? It was Nay from something.
Okay.
Nay from VA.
Pardon me. Martian Montclair TV.
Making points.
Making points. Bullseye.
Making points, yeah.
All right, we got Sway YT. I think that's how you say it. Kylie gave Trav no clout.
I don't think that. I remember being at
That's
one of
not
the. I was
true.
at one of the Astroworld festivals, and let me tell you something. Every girl named Mom was trying to buy.
Yeah.
They sold like the Kylie Travis lip product or whatever it was.
Lip
My
kits.
ex wanted it too. Yeah, I had to come off a pair of one of those. I was trying to resell it.
Well, we got some good news here. We got Herbster05 said, wow, this is my new favorite show.
Hey.
We love that. Welcome, Herb. Martian Montclair TV, who had that amazing comment, just said this. This is my first time watching the show. If
All
it's good, I'll put this in my lineup after Joe Budden podcast for Wednesday.
Hey, I'm gonna need before Joe Budden podcast on Wednesday, if you don't mind. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
maybe we're a palate cleanser. How about
Yeah, listen.
Right.
Yeah.
We talk back.
I like that.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We doing this live. It's a certain, you know what I mean? You're part of the show with us, so put us up.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
have-
I mean,
we don't have
nah,
that
that's
taste.
funny.
Crispy Jack has a comment.
Disrespectfully.
Crispy Jack has a comment back from our 50 Cent conversation that said, 50 Cent is old school?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yes.
hurts my heart.
Look, if this was 2003, in 2003, when I was, just coming of age in hip hop, 13, 14, Rakim was old school. And those records were 20 years old, 15 even, right? 2003. So in 2023, Get Rich or Die Trying is a 20-year-old record. Like, the music sounds different. It's old school. Like, it's been through, music has changed so much since that point. And it's accelerated in the last 5 years. So yeah, I feel like 50 Cent is old school, and I feel like because we only see golden era hip hop as old school, is kind of reductive in a way. Like, a lot of these albums from the early 2000s, mid 2000s have aged pretty well, like Fine Wine, and like you give them the old school. I don't think it's bad to be old school. I don't know, Rob, what do you think? I kind of see a little.
I think the term old school, quite often when it's thrown around, it's a tinge of negativity. When the rockers talk about, they call it classic rock. When they talk about, there's more of a prestige when you say, oh, Metallica, classic rock. That's old school. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference with how we talk about it, and I wonder why we talk about our own music and culture that way.
So should we push the narrative classic hip hop? Like, that's classic.
I'm with that.
I like classic
hip-hop.
hip-hop better.
I'm just saying that is just an
Yeah,
observation.
no, that's
you know what I
fair.
mean?
Yeah.
Like adult contemporary hip hop. I remember like
Adult contemporary
Even the
hip-hop
Cowboy
is
J-
crazy.
Don't do
Yeah.
that. That sounds like
Don't
a
do
jazz
that.
record.
No,
mixed in with
no.
rap.
Contemporary.
That
sounds like
crazy.
That sounds like Anderson
That
.Paak
sounds
and
crazy.
fucking Dr. Dre.
All right, we got Baguette Baby 1 who said, LOL, Speedy trying to start shit. What did I say?
Uh-oh.
I don't even
Baguette
know
Baby.
I don't know what I tried to say, what I tried to start. Luke the Boss 7 is back. Shout out
Yes.
to Luke. He said, Jacques must have some 50 beef. I don't blame him, though, because 50 has rubbed almost everyone the wrong way at one time or another.
I don't have 50 beef. I just 50's had a lot of really choice comments throughout the years, but I was a huge 50 Cent fan. Like, you couldn't be 13 or 14 and living in New York City, and I was living in the suburbs. You know what I mean? Like I was not about that life in any way, shape, or form. But like I was. G-Unit is the future. Like I was all over those mixtapes on LimeWire, downloading that shit. Like
LimeWire.
and
I was in the streets, son.
Yeah,
counting
you know
those
what I mean? Like,
mixtapes.
I was just like, I was downloading those things, getting all that malware on my computer. Like, I have no beef with 50. I just truly haven't listened to 50 in a serious way in a long time.
Well, he hasn't put out music.
Yeah.
With-
He hasn't
What's the
dropped.
last hit? Like what's his last like hit song?
The
That's been
Power
a while.
theme song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Big Rich Town pisses me off because that record was out, and that record was great when it was out before it predates the show.
Big Rich Town?
Was a single. It
I
predates
did
the
not
show.
know that.
It
I didn't
has
know that
a
either.
music video. It was like its own thing. And
What?
And it was this great song, and I was like, why aren't more people paying attention to this? Why is it? It used to spin on MTV Jams all the time back when MTV Jams was a thing.
Wow.
Great video, and then it had a second life as the theme song of Power.
Wow.
But that song was dope on its own when it was connected. Yeah.
I had no idea. Thank you for that. You guys remember they tried to put Trey Songz on there for a quick second?
Yeah,
Yo,
that
that
was-
was
People rioted. It
Fuck,
was like,
that
fuck
was-
this. And they had to put the original
You know,
version back.
going back to Travis Scott, what's going to be telling? No, what's going to be telling is, I mean, I think they're going to sell out because Hypebeast, but
Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
Travis Scott, the threes,
Yes.
the Jordan threes that they show. So they moved from the one model to the three.
What'd you think?
Trash. It's trash.
The dunks was fire. I like
It's
the
trash,
dunks when they came
dog.
out.
Like a backwards swoosh on a three.
It's crazy.
Like, like you don't,
See, now
you don't
you're
really
not
fuck with these, B.
man.
Like you don't.
This
I just
part-
want to say props to your flexibility, by the way. That was-
Arguably the greatest Jordan ever.
Yeah, you don't a backwards swoosh. What are we doing, dog?
But just to shine a light on a fly sneaker that's dropping is the Tiana Taylor ones.
Those are fire.
those are fire.
And
those are
honestly, it
tough.
kind of reminded me of Travis joints with the way that little knitting.
Well, they look like the
Yeah.
off-white ones to me.
Well, you know what? I'm
But-
not shouting out Tiana. I didn't get a pair.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
actually
doing
did
this.
either.
I
I
think
didn't
with,
get
with the
You got a
rolls
pair?
and the
Definitely
thing.
get a
Nah.
pair.
If
Oh, I
Rob
did
got
get
a
a
pair,
pair.
he
You
would
did get
do
a
his
pair?
leg up.
Yeah, you got the little scratch in
Yeah,
your
I'm gonna
neck.
say
You
on
like,
tomorrow on my feet. Okay, but no, seriously,
I have to get
they're
my
Those are
good
fire.
too.
They're fire.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We would know if Rob got a pair because he would have threw his foot
Yeah,
on
he
the
would.
table just like he
Rob,
did.
there's a few
with
things
his
we
Black
need from
Cement
you
3.
mandatory weekly. We got to
Ah,
do the
man,
check.
it's the threes, man.
I
We
ain't gonna lie.
we serious about these Jordan threes, man. Tinker did the swoosh, and that I didn't like them. I didn't really cop the Tinker swoosh threes, but those were hype for a second.
Yeah.
You don't really see them no more in the wild. But a backwards swoosh on the threes is crazy.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. If Utopia drop and release when you see me with them on, just mind your business.
Noted. Noted. All right. We got Kendrick Lamar, who may have jumped out the roof with another one. He jumped up on the remix to Beyonce's America's Got a Problem. Here's what he said. Truthfully, I'll be lying in my rap songs because I always failed to mention that I'll slap homie. His career didn't come with no life insurance. Hope his day one fans got some facts on him. Do we feel like he's targeting or talking about somebody? Or is he just kind of popping shit as a rapper does?
I feel like that could be anybody.
it's so vague. Like maybe other people in the comments will know. Maybe Rob will know. Like, but who's he beefing with? Like
Rob, who's he beefing
like
with?
I just who could Kendrick be beef? Maybe I'm just not tapped in, but I'm like, who could Kendrick really be beefing with?
I mean,
Like,
Kendrick's not outside like he used to be.
That's
so
what I'm
I
saying.
don't know. Like, I mean, look, there's people who've thrown shots in the past. Obviously, there was like the silent war, the sub war between him and Drake for many years. Jay Electronica said some shit in the past, but this was all in the
trying
past.
to out Hebrew Israelite. each
Yeah,
other.
there's nothing new. Honestly, like
that was a good one. Nobody laughed. I like that one. That was funny.
I couldn't figure out who it was about. I was on Twitter talking about it. I just thought the line was dope. And sometimes as an artist, you're just like the target Like you're just saying shit like it could be for anybody. It's not anybody specific. But there were people, and really the OVO fans, at least on my timeline, were like, he better not be talking about Drake and speculating that it was about Drake. But I don't know. I feel like that's dead. And honestly, I don't want a Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef anymore. It would be a great battle because I think they're both great. Yeah. But it's been the subs for too long. It's like if y'all not gonna be direct at this point,
it wouldn't be
who cares?
Fun. I don't think it'd be fun.
It would be, man. If they got to the shit, it would be fun.
But in that case, it's like, because when did Kendrick send the last shot at Drake? That was on the album, right?
I mean, it is all speculated, but you know, it's the BT cipher. I took the sensitive rap in his pajama clothes. There's been a lot. Drake said something on the language. It all stemmed from Control. The Control verse, which everybody got sensitive about. I mean, and there is a Drake song that actually I didn't hear this. It was Drake and Uzi. Twitter put me onto it. It leaked a couple of years ago, but it plays on OVO Sound Radio. I never heard it, and you can't really find it on the internet. But Drake had a lyric, and he said, "Fake woke, fake deep. You ain't no fame before me. Gave your ass a little sneak peek. Now you gotta take a back seat."
Ooh. See, up until the word backseat, it could have been vague. Could have been everybody. But when you get the backseat,
and because he brought him on the tour.
So
and he was on Take Care.
And took him on the tour. Right.
On the Buried Alive interlude.
Right. So, I mean, that could pretend. And then that song, like, it had been out for a while, but it played recently, maybe a month or two ago on OVO Sound. So maybe that could be a response to that lyric. But it's all too vague. Like, honestly, like, I don't know. To me, the Kendrick and Drake beef just seems dead. Like if that shit is still brewing, like, honestly, and I'm a fan of both of them, but I'm bored already. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean. It just wouldn't be fun. Like, it would just be like, all right.
Well, it wouldn't be fun because it's all subs. Like, at this point, like, you got to say something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What's the J line where he something like, if it ain't directed, I ain't gonna respect it? Some shit like that.
If it ain't directed directly at me, I don't respect it.
Yeah. So if Kendrick ain't gonna put a name on it, why even?
Yeah.
I think he's just talking shit.
I think, and I thought about this a lot. Like, because I was on Twitter and they was
I saw you on
like,
Twitter.
they were
He was
like,
going
Rob,
in.
how don't you know this? And I was like, yo, I honestly didn't hear the song. Like, it slipped past me. But I think it's ambiguous. I don't know that. I think Kendrick is also smart enough to know, like, if I just send a shot, it's gonna drive everybody crazy. They're gonna talk about it on social media, on shows like this. They're gonna speculate. So I think he was just shooting at the clouds and was like kind of fucking with us.
I think the real thing at the end of the verse is when he shouts out Billboard for putting Hove before him and him being number 2, because Billboard put out like the top rappers of all time list, and then Kendrick was number 2. And I thought that was, if anything, that's more of a sub than at Drake and all these other artists than anything, because it's like saying like, I'm sure people took issue with that list.
And also that could be a sub to Drake also, because Drake thinks he's the J of,
he's not. He's not.
Drake isn't what?
Let it out.
Drake is the J of our generation. That's his thing.
I feel like Drake is like overextended.
Look, I'm just saying what the
He's
thing
definitely
is.
the top guy.
He is a top guy. He's just everywhere.
You know what it is about Drake, and going back to Kendrick.
Always goes back to Drake.
And Drake, right? Yeah, right. I think there's a beauty in the art to do what they do, similar to Travis Scott, right? Consider Kendrick. When we're saying, okay, Travis Scott, when did Astro World come out? 2017. So we're talking about 6 years? 5, 6 years?
2018.
5, 6 years.
2018, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 2018, yep.
It takes a talent. Kendrick is on that same timeline, like, right? It's going to be 4 years, 5 years before each album. And to be able to come back and still captivate the way he did with Mr. Morale and things of that nature, there's a real talent to that. And there's a real art to that, right? So with Travis Scott remains to be seen. Hopefully he could do it. With Drake, there's a real art and there's a real talent to being omnipresent. Like Drake, like since So Far Gone and when he first kind of really took off, 2009, there's never been a moment, there hasn't been 6 months where we've been without Drake, like for real.
True.
Yep.
That shit is crazy. Like that is difficult. Like I don't know who could sustain like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I kind of respect them both. You know what I mean?
And we better get used to him because he signed that deal with Universal. $400 million. We're gonna get 2 Drake albums for the next 5-6 years.
And then Scary Hours 3.
let's get used to Drake. We're gonna get a lot of Drake music because
I
he's
thought
gonna
he
have
said
to-
he was bowing out gracefully in that Yachty interview.
He signed that deal is huge.
Almost
It's a
$500
distribution
million
deal.
deal.
Yeah, like he's not bowing out. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna get 2 Drake albums a year for the next couple years. That's like, and that explains like Honestly Nevermind and like the collab album with 21 Savage. It's like, there probably will be another collab album.
Yeah, it takes,
hope so.
it takes the weight off.
If
Yeah.
Drake
So-
gives us a full close, are you guys okay with that?
No.
If he gives us
No.
a full
A full
close,
close.
it'll be interesting.
He's not.
It'll be
Fine.
interesting.
I'm good on that.
You know what though?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like I remember I made a video, I made a TikTok about like how we want Drake to rap about other things, to be deeper. And then people were like, he's March 14th and all that. They threw all these songs. So Drake has been deep. But yeah, it would be nice if like Drake like rapped about like just being a dad.
Falling in love. Yeah,
Yeah.
being a dad. Falling
But
in love.
he did Search and Rescue. He can't meet the girls in the
I
places
know.
that he be.
That made me sad because the week before I was talking ish, and then I heard that. I'm like, all right, fine. Maybe it's hard for you.
Jock,
like-
what do you think about his Pitbull line on that song? it's a
I thought the line was fire. I can't front.
well, that line specifically has a life of its own on this show. So
Yeah,
I had to
No,
ask
I'm not a
when you brought it up.
pit bull, but
With
dale,
Dale,
mommy.
Sorry,
Like,
Rob.
I-
I hate to
Rob.
put you through this.
No, I thought that line was fire. It was like
Fire?
yeah, like it was just the way it kind of came out. I was into it. Like
I'm
yeah,
telling those
yeah.
lines that be like questionably corny be the best ones, especially
Like
in
I'm
live
light skinned, but I'm still a dark nigga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, what did you?
Do
Sorry.
you relate with that, Speedy? You know?
I do relate. I in fact do relate with that.
You know what? Let's just pivot.
You seem like you're about to ask something. You good?
Let's just pivot.
All right,
yes.
let's jump into some of these comments. I'm Extra says, Rob Markman, a legend. I love it. Classic, greater than old school for sure. Illmatic is a classic, not an old school record, for example.
I say hip hop.
Well, I love you too, first of all, man. But yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right, we got Jay Chosen says 50 ain't old school. 50 is the school, and you all need to get educated.
It's a bar, though.
No, but you know what? I
It's
guess
definitely a bar.
I guess you're right. I guess there is like a
Nyla pouring up that
You
tequila.
already know.
I guess
Shots? Nah,
there is like a
Go ahead,
thing
Jack.
about the old school term. You know what I mean? Like it is like I guess it does come across as pejorative. 'Cause I'm not using it in that way.
But
But like I could totally see how that would be like, oh, like dismissive. It'll come off as dismissive. So yeah, classic hip hop. I think I like that. Yeah, it's classic hip hop.
all right, we got WTFXO says Jock was 13 in 2003. He looks so young. Black
Melanin,
don't crack.
baby, man. Black don't crack. Yeah, man. Moisturize. Wash your face every night. You know?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. We got Hype Poet says, Rob, that's a dope sweater. I used to have one like that.
Thank you.
What are they saying? Did you get it from him?
Oh,
From this person?
You know, Brooklyn, you know how Brooklyn do, man. It's like boosters in abundance, buy half price sweater new.
Yeah, right off the
Nice.
back of the truck or
Jay-Z.
something.
Yeah.
All right, now these people are commenting on the Kendrick Lamar conversation. We got Rude Jun says, at Amazon Music, every rapper in the game. He's referring to who we think Kendrick Lamar is threatening to slap. I'm Extra said he's just reminding people once again that he's the GOAT. Luke the Boss 7 is back, says Kendrick doesn't give off the vibe of a person who would slap someone. To be honest, if he did, I think his core fan base would be disappointed in him.
What?
That man is from Compton. Like, that man is affiliated.
He can
I'm-
scrap. Stop
Yo,
it.
if you listen, I get what Luke the Boss is saying. Shout out to Luke the Boss, because Kendrick gives off an aura. I think we treat Kendrick as
Dating.
kumbaya.
Poet.
You know what I'm saying?
But he slapped Diddy.
If you really listen, he didn't slap Diddy.
No,
What is
Cole
that in the
slapped
record?
Diddy.
Oh, Cole slapped
Your
Diddy.
man
That-
slapped
that-
Diddy.
Oh, I knew that.
Is that what happened?
You didn't hear that?
No, I
Oh, so wait, what's the T?
listen. I don't know.
I
nothing.
heard this.
Wow, that's
I don't
crazy.
know
No,
nothing.
I don't
now
want
we're
to-
here.
but
No,
listen,
now
it's
we're
crazy.
here.
But listen,
my
you
type
won't
of
just do
tangent.
that?
It's my
Press
type
on,
of
press on.
I'm
tangent.
just like, is that what happened? Listen. But
know too much.
if you listen to Kendrick,
don't.
if you listen to Kendrick's record, like his records, like subliminally, like I feel like Kendrick's been in some shit.
No, he's rapped
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
What's that one line? He said, I spent my whole life thinking out the box. Boxing homies 3-on-1, got DP, but I ain't dropped.
Yeah.
He can get it on.
Right,
if he get
right,
it on with 3-on-1 and
right.
didn't drop.
There's a lot.
Salute, my brother.
There's a lot in Kendrick's music that it's like he's not the peaceful brother that
That we think
everybody
he
thinks he is.
Yeah.
All right, we got Legend Manquel. Hope I'm saying that right. Says Kendrick can't be beefing after all
Oh, it's
that
good,
dirt.
Legend.
On God.
Shouts to Legend. Yeah, it's a good guy.
Taylor Napolsky says vague subs like that are boring in my opinion because it's like you're going for controversy, but there's no substance to it. Jillian Superstar says, I love Kendrick, but I wish he would be direct if he's going to throw shots. The subliminal bars are for the birds. Extra is back, says, it would be fun to a degree if it was direct, because we saw Kendrick do it with Control, but I don't remember an ongoing direct diss track after diss track. Yeah, nobody said there was any direct diss tracks.
I would love another Control type thing, though.
You don't,
too.
but look,
From Kendrick or from anyone?
But hold on.
Somebody.
Kendrick could get direct. Like, there was something, damn it, not to rehash this, right? Because they made peace. But there was a piece of a record that leaked where he was going at Big Sean pretty directly. Like Kendrick, no, he knows when to pick and choose his spots. Like, if Kendrick, I think, wanted to make like a direct, a back-to-back, Ether, or like one of those type records, he absolutely can. And I think mind would be blown because you rarely hear him do it.
I mean, I like I said, I think it would be, if this is like almost like a Control level thing where he's talking to everybody, like, I like it, you know? And I would love if he directly went at everybody again.
And to see who reacts. Because the Control thing, I never understood why people were so upset at the Control thing, because that's what all rappers think about each other anyway. We're all around them behind the scenes long enough. Like, none of these rappers like each other.
Yep.
Or they're cool, but it's like, yo, I'll take your head off if I have to.
They don't really like each other.
So he said the shit that everybody that he named was thinking. They was just mad because he said it. But they was thinking it. Drake absolutely thinks that way. Drake is an assassin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they were just mad that he said it publicly.
Yeah.
But
He said the quiet part out loud?
Yeah, but
Which is other rappers.
it wasn't even that bad of a diss to me. I just didn't understand why everybody reacted like that. It was funny to me.
All right. Well, we got a bunch of other comments, but I want to move forward because we got some other topics to talk about as well. This one is Soulja Boy talking about Ice Spice.
Oh, God.
Listen, you let Soulja Boy tell it. He discovered America. He was the first person to walk on the moon. He invented this and that.
He made the Twinkie, actually. I don't know if you heard
He
about
invented
that.
the trees. He's the first one to put the cream in the Twinkie, actually. But yeah, so Soulja Boy
wild.
said.
Yeah, I was like, no one's gonna pause that.
I tried to just
I'm
push
trying-
forward. but you-
I don't believe in that, but continue.
I'm trying to grow.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, Soulja Boy, he went viral on YouTube in an interview with Bootleg Kev. Here's what he said. I like Ice Spice. I ain't gonna cap. On Gang, I found out about her before she got popping off. He also claimed that he was in her DMs before she broke. He said, I was talking to her and shit just took off. I like seeing shit like that. Like a motherfucker just be under the radar and then just take off. I like seeing shit like that. The real question is, who discovered Ice Spice first? Soulja Boy or Gabe, Mr. Step In, Step Out, Don't Get Stepped on?
Show me the DM receipts.
Pull up the date.
Pull up the date, yeah.
It got so serious, his glasses flew across the table.
Send me the DM receipts. Show me the DM
Listen,
receipts.
man.
Hold on, let me pull mine
Do
up.
you have some receipts for
I
us,
do.
Gabe?
I pulled up
Listen.
my text with Ice, but hold on.
But it also feels like Soulja Boy was just
you
trying
ain't
to
gotta do
holler, and
I'm not gonna do that.
blew
I'll do it
up.
anyway.
He might have
You guys
just
Soulja
trying
Boy
to
was
find
trying to holler, and
I
Ice Spice
hope-
blew
I
up.
hope-
Like,
I
oh my
hope not,
god.
'cause Ice is kind of young.
That's hey, hey,
Be
man.
careful
about what
These,
you mean
these
like
rappers
that.
are weird. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
April 22nd, 2022, on the radar X Ice Spice with the double eyes.
Okay.
April
And then
2022. That's early.
April 20.
That's around the time I
That's
found out
over a
about
year
her.
ago.
April 22nd, 2022.
That's around the time, because my man, shout out to my man Jordan Dutton over at World Star. You know, again, I don't think people realize. I think I said it on the show before, but you know, I work with the team over at World Star, the A&R team. Munch and Bikini Bottom came out, was a World Star distributed record. So my man Jordan was like, "Yo, is this girl named Ice Spice? Check out this record." Like, and you know, we did the deal, put it out, and you know what I'm saying? Amazing. And then she went on to Capitol. But you know, to Gabe's credit, when Drake DM'd her, Drake said, I like Munch because she was previewing Munch on her TikTok, and you're on the radar freestyle.
He didn't say that. I didn't like that Soulja Boy DM. Soulja Boy put me on to you. Like, what's up?
So I'm
Respectfully.
going with Gabe. My man Jordan put me on, but you know, I think Gabe was a early adopter,
Right.
a cheerleader, waving the flag before anybody. Gabe saw it first.
pioneer.
Yeah.
Pioneer. And I can't even take full credit for that too, because yes, I did find her, but I also got to give credit, like how you gave credit to your mans. I got to give credit to my brother Glenn Brown, who manages Cash Cobain. Me and him was talking about her probably back in like February of 2022, March, I would say, like earliest. And he put me on, and then everything else happened as that happened.
But
And the real thing is, she was destined to be who the hell she was going to be
Facts.
anyway. it wasn't one thing that did it. It wasn't one relationship. It wasn't one, like, she was destined for that.
And I think regardless of who discovered her first, not taking nothing away,
Yeah.
why is a grown man talking about I was in her DMs first? Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Like,
That
men,
shit weird.
like, men attaching themselves to women who are successful is so corny to me. And vice versa. Like, women who be like, oh, I did, like, no, like, that person, like Rob just said, was destined to be whoever they're going to be. So, like, especially as a grown man, attaching yourself to a young woman, like, it's kind of just, like, ill.
Amen.
That's what I'm saying. He was in her. He was trying to holler.
Like, what is going on
That's
right
what he was
now?
doing.
Like you wasn't in her DM for music purposes.
Yeah,
like, let's be
but
for real, for real.
Hopefully,
Come on.
it was. I ain't gonna
Maybe.
say.
You know
we
what?
don't
You know what? I'm gonna give him the benefit of that.
Yeah, I wanna
because
give him that
that's
too.
a terrible. Unless you kind of really know for sure, that's a bad tag to put on somebody.
But the way
You know
it
what
was
I'm saying?
worded.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah,
worded.
that's what I'm saying.
It was definitely worded.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like,
definitely
hey,
worded
I
weird.
like your
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
and I would love to sign you to a deal. He said, I was in her DMs and shit just popped off.
When you
It
say
was-
when
it
you
was
a man talking
definitely-
about being in a woman's DMs, you say it like
Yeah,
that. I was in her DMs. Like you know exactly what that.
goes
You know what the
down to
energy
DMs,
is.
So that's why I'm like,
It was definitely worded weird, but me personally, I can't put that on him. And so unless I know for sure, because once that stink is on you, you can't get that off.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he
But-
just had a baby. He's going through life. You know, like, I don't know if I'm gonna say that's so. I ain't gonna
Rob
put that
sucks
on
his
him. I'm
teeth.
just saying,
Never
yeah,
gonna change.
to the head.
You had a baby?
I feel you.
Yeah, he just had a baby.
I didn't know that.
Shout out to
It's
Soulja
Soulja Baby.
Soulja
Soulja
baby.
Baby.
Was it a Soldier Boy or a Soldier Girl?
It's a good question. I don't
question.
know that much, but it's a
I
Soulja
thought
baby.
you were a aficionado on Soldier Boy, but
Just
You
J.
were looking
Cole
for a clink,
only.
but nobody clinked you.
Yeah, no, I didn't need it. No, thank you.
Send me your receipts, please.
well, Soldier Boy is claiming that he put all of us on to Ice Spice, which maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
Me.
But here's a bigger question that I want to pose to you all into the chat. Who was the last artist that someone put you guys onto? Whether it was a friend, a family member, somebody put you on and say, yo, you got to check out so-and-so.
Somebody sent me somebody.
Rob
Give me
put
a
on
second.
Charlie.
On Instagram, like I clearly cannot remember. The boy 60 put me on to somebody, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta listen."
Oh, 60 put everybody
Yeah,
on.
60 knows.
He sounds like DMX.
60.
He's like the new DMX.
Yeah, yes, yeah,
You guys-
yeah.
maybe he-
Demon Fred. No,
He must have signed him.
no,
He got some equity.
Stain Harrison. This dude Stain Harrison, 60 sent me. This is a singer. He's really dope. And also Najee put me on to Big X the Plug.
Big X is incredible.
Big X
Yeah.
the Plug is great. The song Levels is great. But 60, what's the name of this dude? They're trying to sign him. I can't remember it, but he's from Syracuse.
Well, damn, don't fucking give all that away.
One of the, shout out my boy, Laka Films. He brought her to my show, but he put me on the Mellow Bucks before Mellow Bucks blew up out of Chicago, and she really like right now. I think as a new artist, she's my new favorite female rapper, and she was just in the new Glorilla video too. She's hard. She's the one. Mellow Bucks.
No.
I don't have my phone on me, and I don't want to say anybody's name wrong.
Now put me on to Alex Vaughn. There you go.
Alex Vaughn's
I love-
fire.
You put a lot of people on the they. You've been championing them.
I,
Nice. Nicely
Clever.
done. Yeah,
Guys.
Great album.
I worked on that all night. I know we got some comments gearing up, and while those get ready, I'm trying to think of who I was last put on to. I feel like I pick up somebody new every week from you guys in your rotation picks. Win, I think it's dope. I checked her out, and that was from Rob. Definitely Charlie. I had heard about him, but I never tapped into his music
Oh,
Yeah.
until you.
I can
And
definitely
then
say that one from
Nah, so you got that from Rob too. I was the first
definitely
one.
from me.
Oh,
Okay,
Rob,
I
okay.
shouted out Charlie first.
Okay.
I put Gabe on.
Gabe,
Oh.
Gabe, let it go.
Gabe, that's
Gabe,
what they
let
call
it
me.
go.
Yo, he's so mad.
Let it go. Come on, not
So
tonight.
Rob, Rob put you on to Charlie.
Yeah,
He introduced
clearly.
you, and
You
now
guys
you got the
definitely
friends.
put me
Yo,
on
yeah,
the
clearly.
Charlie.
Yeah, he put me on him.
Yeah,
Because
no,
of him, we're friends.
I found out about Charlie from Tarek, but
I can't.
Shout out Tara.
and then I asked Gabe about him. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's my man. That's from Long Island, Gabe right?"
Yeah.
Come on, Gabe, getting mad.
Yeah. Now you're looking up like you.
Because I'm really trying to think of like an artist that I've been excited about.
Don't
that
you
I
have the
got
whole
put on
Pass the
to.
Aux segment too? Shouldn't you be chock full of artists?
You know, there's mad artists, but I'm talking about an artist that I didn't research that someone else put me on to
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that I
discover
was
all-
excited about.
You discover all your own stuff?
I
Shit.
do. I'm a DJ. Like I got to
Damn.
do research.
Respectfully.
Yeah, I salute. That's a tough job.
But I think the harder part for me is that I'm excited about. I could just shout out a bunch of people right now,
Okay.
but
All right, I see we have some comments loaded up, but it's about the Drake conversation. I feel like we've moved past it. Do we have any comments about artists that
What they got to say about Drake? I'm curious.
more Drake?
they
I
were
think
talking about Degrassi. Let's not.
Okay, yeah.
Rob rolled
I
his
can't
eyes
see it,
so
yeah.
hard when you said, "What are they saying about Drake?" Rob was like, "Not more Drake, please."
It always
Because I
comes back to Drake.
went home.
my
My
first
wife
time
was like,
on
"Yo,
the
y'all
show.
always talk about Drake."
Oh God.
Someone said I thought Diddy slapped Cole. What
Well,
is this?
listen,
Yo, what's
Cole
going
slapped
on
Diddy?
here?
I wanna
Listen,
know
you
what
can
happened.
go Google it afterwards. There,
Not doing this. Rob knows
He
too
was
much.
good.
He's not gonna tell us. Like,
Listen,
Oh,
listen.
come on.
There's information out there. If you are interested in finding out what happened, just Google it. There's
I wasn't
stories
there,
out
so I can't speak.
I wasn't
They
there
made
either.
up and whatnot, so I feel
Yeah.
like it's fine to
Yeah.
talk
everything
about.
Gucci now.
It's done. I wasn't there, so I can't. I know what I heard,
What
but
you heard.
it's irrelevant. I wasn't there, so I can't
Boo.
really confirm.
Tomato, tomato, tomato. I
wasn't there.
tomatoes.
All right, we got a couple that have since been loaded in, but they're moving fast, man. Shout out to the commenters for showing love. Can we scroll down a little bit more to the last artist people was put on to? Okay, here we go. K. Kira says Sarah May for sure. I don't know how to say that artist's name, but shout them out. Perhaps we should tap in. Caleb _0_0 said Lil Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lil
I
Tyler.
actually think I learned about Lil Tyler from you.
Come on, man. Shout out
And
to Tyler,
I really
man.
like that one record he got
Ski.
where he talks about Jada Waiter, Ruby Rose.
Yeah. I don't know if I want Jada Wait or Ruby Rose.
It's like a bubbly kind of fun type of song. So
I
shout
wonder
out.
what happens when his voice will change. Because what he's like 16.
I think his voice.
Nah,
has
he
changed
like
by
I
now.
think he like 17, 18.
I mean, look
you
what
don't
happened to
think so?
Smokey Margello. Remember Smokey
Smokey
Margello? Like when he was on Cozy Tapes too. Like everyone's like, "Oh my God, this nigga's crazy," and then his voice changed. And
But didn't he get locked up?
Yeah, he locked up right now.
He's locked
Is he
up.
really?
Yeah.
yeah, but this is before he got like
Yeah.
He's talking about when he was like young,
he was
young
on a
Hassan.
slide to like
Yeah.
irrelevancy, and then but yeah, I
Hey,
guess-
man.
yeah, hey, because your voice changes, and then it's like
Lil Wayne's voice changed. Either you destined for this shit or you not.
no.
Plus, the Tyler's flow is extremely unique. I think
It is.
even if his voice does change over time, I think he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine.
Like, very
He's
passive.
gonna be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got Invincible says a friend put them onto Destroy Lonely. Shout out to Destroy
Love
Lonely.
Destroy Lonely.
Shout out to your friend.
Did you like If Looks Could Kill?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, like the thing about like that, like the opium type of sound is like it's not something that I always would listen to, but when
Yeah.
I'm in that type of mode, like I like it. I like it.
I feel like I liked
Love Ken
those
Carson, too.
I liked to know. Really, you love Ken Carson?
Yeah.
That's strong. I'm not.
Love. Yeah, you're right. Love
I-
is strong.
I-
But how about this? I thoroughly enjoy Ken Carson.
Okay,
That's better.
Okay, cool. Because I feel like I liked no stylist, and I just felt like If Looks Could Kill was just like bloated. Like 26 songs. I don't know if y'all listened to it, but it was like 26 songs. Like, I just couldn't. I listened to it like 6 times to really catch the vibe, and I'm like, what do these kids like really like? And I just couldn't do it. Like,
It's definitely like a very long listen without features, but it's also kind of like I feel like that's also an influence of like NBA YoungBoy dropping long projects, multiple projects.
but
So.
he's not young boy. Like that's
He's
the,
not.
That's the thing, though. I feel like young boy could rap. Destroy Lonely, I don't think can really rap. Like, and there's like more substance in young boy's raps. I'm not a big young boy fan, but there's more.
Well, I'm not talking
substance
about the way that they rap. I'm talking about the volume in which they put on a project.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I like Destroy Lonely.
yeah.
Shout out to Destroy Lonely.
Shouts to Clay Code. The rock beats are pretty good on it. Mhm.
Really quickly, while we're on the topic of Ice Spice, don't want to spend too much time, but Taylor Swift has a song coming out with Ice Spice. Did you guys hear about it?
Did hear about it.
Months
Did
ago.
hear. Yeah, I was about to say.
Months ago, indeed.
A brick.
Are you guys going to check it out?
Absolutely.
Of course, it's just crazy. Like from relative obscurity to the Met Gala and a song with Taylor Swift in what 10 months?
And Nicki.
And Nicki, it's
In a year.
it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
And in a year. So.
Some people are destined for this. It's what first of all what consistent hit records get you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she I think she was just kind of destined for it. Like it was gonna happen one way or another by her
Yeah.
crook.
Let's see
And
what that album
She's
sounds
been
like.
dope to capitalize off it every step of the way.
All right. Well, let's move forward for our last topic of conversation, and it's Lil Durk and J. Cole. Lil Durk recently admitted that he got quote-unquote smoked by J. Cole on their collaboration. He said that barely happens. I believe he said this in an interview with my boy Jordan Rose at Complex at his Spotify show or some show that he did
Hey.
recently.
If it ain't Rotation Radio every Tuesday and Thursday, Nyla, Symone, Gabe P, I don't know what you're talking
It
about.
don't.
Man,
Go ahead.
all right. Listen,
Just saying.
it was a show
Yeah, like the Wonder Twins.
that he performed at, nonetheless. But before we get into that conversation, did you guys hear the song? Do you like the song? Do you enjoy the record?
Excuse me. did we hear the song?
Yeah.
It's all Nyla wants to play. It's all she wants to play. So if she could play it 5 times on our Tuesday, Thursday show on Amp Radio, that she would. But
Yes, it was my pick last year. I mean, last episode too. I know we don't play the songs out loud, but
yeah,
I'm sure you guys heard.
I like it. Rob has a stern face on.
No, I fuck with the song. I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, very serious face on.
You got kids singing on the hook, dope, cold verse. You know,
Hard to go wrong
I
when
do
you have
think
kids singing on
Cheat
the-
code.
But I
cheat
think
code.
one of the,
the
things
kids on
that
the cheat code.
Kids on the hook, like
And in the video.
in a kids in a chorus type thing, like I know I can, like, you know, it's like a cheat code. It's
Works
like,
every time.
Works every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
it was
Not
very
mad
much
at
given
that,
like
though.
we are the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you know.
But I do think Durk could have came strong on it. But I think I said this. I don't remember if I said this last week or on the AMP show. But it's also a different subject matter for him. So I'm not really mad at how he came on it. Obviously Cole is Cole, so he's naturally just
Washed him.
gonna be better on the song. You know?
Yeah.
This is
I don't know why this is news. Like Cole is one of the top. Like Cole gets on features with everybody, and like there's few folks right now rapping better than Cole. You know, and obviously like 21 Savage recently, right? Durk, you know, down to Benny the Butcher, who's really regarded for his raps. Like Cole is just on he's like rare air. So I don't know like that. I don't even know that Durk was rapping to be better than Cole. Like
Yeah.
that didn't even seem like the goal. It felt like an exercise in futility. So he just
Well, you named a couple examples, and I want to pose the same question to the audience that I'll pose to you all. But who's an artist that you guys feel got smoked, got bodied by a feature on one of their own records? I mean, you mentioned a few in Benny and
I remember
Cool.
one time I'm gonna go back. When A$AP Rocky first dropped the mixtape, before he dropped it, the first mixtape, he played it for me before it came out. We were like in his crib, and he played Brand New Guy. And I almost couldn't help myself. Like we're at the table, and Schoolboy Q, I'm like, damn, he got you in your own shit. Like, so Schoolboy Q, Brand New Guy with A$AP Rocky. I think Q.
Did you tell Rocky? Or you
Yeah, no, I
held it
told him
down?
that.
What did he say?
He was like, yeah, he did. You know what I'm saying? At the time, you know, I think it was pretty apparent. But, you know, that's a dope record, a classic collaboration. But, yeah, I give it to Schoolboy Q on Brand New Guy.
I'd even argue that's happened to Rocky a few times, like
Right.
on fucking problems,
Yep.
and also on Praise the Lord.
Right.
Like Skepta washed him.
I don't know, maybe.
Now I'm kind of with him on that. I'm kind of with him on that.
I don't blame him for fucking problems though, because
Problems is crazy.
no,
Crazy.
but I don't
Like getting
even.
washed on his
That was a
record.
Drake record
Yeah.
that Drake and 40 manufactured, and I think they tried to give it to Kendrick. Kendrick said didn't fit on my album. It ended up with Rocky. It was sort of a hodgepodge of a record. And how do you say no to Drake,
2 Chainz.
Kendrick, 2 Chainz? Like, I'm gonna take. Who cares who has the best verse? I have a hit record. It's on my debut album. So I feel you on that, but I don't blame him for fucking problems. I don't hold against him.
I was gonna say Control, obviously. You know, with Kendrick, Jay, and Big Sean, or like any song from like 2015 to 2020 that Drake was like the stimulus package for. You feel me? Like Block Boy JB. Like, come on.
Yeah, but see,
But is that Drake's song or is it Black Boy's
It's
song?
Block
Boy's song.
Oh, it's Black
Yeah.
Boy's
Yeah, it
song.
was
But
Block Boy.
but here's the thing: we can't compare it, and that's a great example because it's similar to J. Cole and Durk. I don't expect lyrical from Block Boy JB. Like, granted, we didn't know him much. We knew
Right, that was
Rover,
like his like a debut.
but
Rover,
Block Boy
yeah.
JB isn't a lyrical rapper. Like Durk isn't that rapper that I go to for. So I expect them to get smoked when you do J. Cole on record, when you get Drake on the record.
Right.
Like that record is not built for who had the best verse.
I would say Eminem, Jay-Z, Renegade.
I was gonna say that.
That's
Yeah.
the fake news.
I mean, like,
You don't think
Classic
so?
hip hop.
Nah, yeah. I mean, that's your
Let it-
opinion.
let it
Your
off.
opinion is big.
I never know. It's my opinion.
This
so
is
I
a well,
said it.
you've probably argued about this like so many times. This is a well-trotted argument.
Yeah, I never even heard. First of all, shout out to Nas and Ether because I think Nas introduced that. Eminem murdered you on your own shit.
Yeah.
And then I think it became the narrative. Same thing, like I've said this before when Cannabis said the greatest MC died on March 9th. Nobody was calling Big the greatest MC of all time until Cannabis said it on the record. Like, it's certain things that become narrative. I think Jay's verse is incredible on that. I think it was kind of evenly paired. You know what I'm saying? But how do you relate music with thugs with nothing that relate to it? I helped them see their way through it, not you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit that Jay was saying on that record was ill. And came off too and had the wordplay. But I think it was even. I don't think M smoked them. Like I think they were neck and neck.
For me, I think it's just M's delivery and just him being the crazy white boy at the time, talking on a record called Renegade, the whole theme of it. Like, I think Jay did what Jay always does on the record, which, again, this is an old debate, but it's actually one of my favorite debates just because the song is a classic. But Jay was cool on the record. Like, what he said, yeah, it was dope. It was typical Jay-Z. But I think it was M's flavor for me.
Okay. I mean, I've said this on the show before, but the most recent one I can think of is Churchill Downs, Jack Harlow.
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
Drake.
That's a good
Rob
one.
disagreed, though, last time. I remember you were like,
Drake's verse is better.
I think it's, like, blatantly better. Like,
Yeah,
like
I don't think.
it's,
I don't think Jack was that bad. It wasn't like smoke.
I
Like-
didn't say Jack was bad, but that Drake verse is incredible.
Yeah, Drake's verse is way better.
Like when you say somebody, what do you say? When somebody smoked you on the record, like to me that is a big.
When I heard Churchill's Down for the first time, I was like, Drake's verse is substantially better.
All right.
And like now when I listen back to it, I kind of
Well, Jack changed his verse from the leak.
He
remember,
did
it
change the
remember
verse.
it leaked
Yeah, that's
initially,
right.
and Jack admitted that he went
didn't
back.
he add?
No, he
to
had
it?
a
Yeah,
verse.
he added. He added.
He added
He
more
added
to it.
Yeah.
That lead was hard too.
But as a rapper, Rob, do you feel like if you have to add more to a verse, does that mean you just didn't come correct the first time?
Yeah, I've never changed the verse on anybody.
Have you ever had to add more bars to it?
Nah, I kind of like if I invite somebody to be on my record, I'll give them the record with my verse on it, and then just whatever happens. And then when somebody gives me a record with their verse, I'll listen to it once or twice, but I'm not studying it to be like, how can I be better than them? I'm just
Right.
like, I'm naturally gonna be
I'm better than them.
Yeah.
Popular shit.
It's just gonna happen. But yeah. But I don't know. Everybody has different etiquettes, like, you know what I'm saying? But I think the customary thing to do, if it's your record and I'm asking you for a feature, I send it to you with the verse so you get the idea. And then after that, it's in God's hands. If you get smoked, you get smoked. But then to come back and change a verse after you heard their verse, that means you wasn't confident in your shit in the first place.
first
man.
place.
Yeah, that's a little,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any comments about artists that got smoked on their own record? Do we have any more? We see some comments here about other artists that people were put onto, but I'm curious. Oh, here's a fun one. Not in regard to an album, but somebody, WTFXO said, not Speedy reading my comment. I'm gagged. Shout out to you. We'll read them all if you have more, so keep them coming.
It's
Okay,
a
we got-
gag for me.
Invincible said Cole's verse on The London made my jaw drop on the verse.
That was bananas.
great,
Yeah.
I fucked with Bia's verse. No, the London. I'm thinking the one with the London accent. Yeah,
Oh,
the
like,
young
where are we going?
Okay,
here?
my
Different
bad.
songs,
Two different
but
songs.
I will co-sign you. That Bia verse on the
Right.
London joint with Cole is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. That's what my bad, because Drake rhymed in the London accent on the Bia record.
Yes.
I'm confusing it with the London with
The
the Young
London.
Dumb. I agree with that with Drake on the London, but on the Bia record, what's the name of the Bia record again? Fuck.
Isn't it called I'm in
London.
London?
Called
I like
London.
It's called London too, so it's
Yeah.
two records called London.
Yeah, just London.
Yeah, people were saying, "Oh, Cole smoked her on the shit."
She did great to me.
I think
it was
she
a
did
great.
fucking amazing.
It was a great Cole verse.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I
But shout out to Bia.
Bia actually has my favorite verse on that record.
I got
Wow.
a question though.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know a fun fact about Doug, Free Thug? But do you guys know that Doug has a song called The London, but is banned from the London Hotel?
I did see that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You knew that? This is public knowledge?
I think so. Yeah, I think I saw it on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah,
Where's
he
the
has a
London
song.
Hotel?
It's in L.A. It's
Okay.
in West Hollywood. It's a very, very nice hotel.
Why is he banned from the London?
Because when shooting a music video, they trashed the room. Like
Oh.
tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage. And so he has a song. I think that song is platinum. It's a
Yeah.
platinum song named after a hotel that he cannot stay in.
Wow.
Fun fact.
That's hard.
Doug has bigger fish to fry.
I think so,
Staying at the
too.
London, man. If I'm being honest, not even to make light of the situation, but
Fact.
Yeah,
he
you're
gives
right. I
a-
should
I
have
don't, I don't
that
think he
today.
gives a fuck.
But I had a question. Cole's never had a number one record. Currently, All My Life is the number 2 record in the country. You think this could be Cole's first number one?
What's number one right now?
Morgan Wallen.
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
He's been number one like
Yeah.
he's had a chokehold on the top 10, like
Yeah.
the 100 and the 200. But they've really been juicing All My Life. I hear it everywhere. Like it's
Yeah,
everywhere.
I'd like to see what their second week is like. Because if he came
Yeah,
out the
word.
gate this strong and now we're hearing it even more, like
They said, it was that whole competition between Durk and YoungBoy, and they said All My Life streamed more than YoungBoy's whole album. Rich
really.
Yeah, I did see. I think I brought it up on AMP. I think it was something around like All My Life had like 18 million streams, and then YoungBoy's album had 13, something like that. It was on Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
That's like you ever
guess
play
the-
spades?
yeah.
It's
Running
big,
Boston.
The big joker, man.
Oh.
Nah, you know, the big joker,
Slim
man.
and Big Joker.
It's the big joker.
I mean, it would be great for Cole to get his first number one on like a record that's his.
Sure.
And it's also kind of crazy that for somebody that J. Cole has never had
yeah,
a
I was
number one
kinda surprised.
record.
I didn't know that
Yeah,
he had never
he's
had.
never had a number one record.
Well, first of all, I would argue that All My Life is J. Cole's
I was going to say the
record.
same shit. That
yeah,
low-key
yeah,
is his
yeah,
record.
He owned it.
yeah.
But also too, I don't think Cole comes out. There's also a bit of a scarcity with Cole.
Yeah.
Not as much as Kendrick. I think it's a numbers game. How many Drake records should have been number one that weren't, that were either like blocked by like a Taylor Swift or somebody? Now he has a bunch of them, but it takes a while to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, he didn't have
It's
it.
just does
He
not
didn't have
come.
until One
Like,
Dance,
this
right?
is number one. How? Where? I don't even hear
Search
it.
and Rescue is pretty high up there, isn't it?
Search and Rescue was number two also.
It was number two, but it free fell. It's like now it's like 15 or 16.
Doesn't that make you wonder?
Because it's not the record's made.
How does
Make
it go
you wonder
number,
what? What
but
do you
how
have
does it
a-
go from
what are you
number one
implying?
to number 15
Well, because
every week?
I think Drake is the type of artist, and it's the way the charts are weighted now. I think when Drake drops, you have to listen.
So the charts have an algorithm now.
No,
like
no,
Instagram.
but
No.
but it's the way the streams are. Before it was sales based and radio based, right? But now it's streaming based. If Drake drops a record, it's a must listen. You have to listen to it. So that first week is always going to be huge because you don't want the FOMO of missing out. And also Drake drops great records, and you're like, okay, is this as great as the one he dropped?
Yeah.
And then I think the fall off happens when it's like,
And you don't love it.
this isn't my favorite Drake record. It's cool or whatever, but I just think it's the way we consume music now. But Drake, whenever he
say
drops, is a must.
Drake has a permanent chokehold
Yeah.
on pop culture.
Because what,
Is that what we're saying?
yeah, what you call it? Wasn't Susie Slide the number one record?
Yeah.
Thanks,
That-
Pandemic.
That's
that was
not.
pandemic, though. That
But,
was
pandemic.
different.
but when you listen,
If anything, it's truer. It's almost like the NBA bubble. That was just pure
Yeah.
basketball. Like the pandemic was just pure music. There was no club
Yeah.
to like really make you listen to it. It's just you and you listen
I
to
haven't heard
yourself.
that record.
right? That's what I'm
since the
saying.
Yeah, same.
I don't think that's such a great record in Drake's
Yeah.
discography.
Yeah.
Like when you look at maybe some of the other records that he has that didn't go number one, and that one did, you was like, how did that make it? Right time, right place, right consumption. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
All right. Well, let's jump back into some of these comments. We got Shawnee Bravo. They say Doja Cat on Kitty Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Doja Cat
What?
went
Oh,
crazy
that's
on
a
that.
great one.
Yeah.
We've got I'm Extra back again. They say Capital Steez, R.I.P. on Survival Tactics by Joey Badass.
Rest in peace.
But it
in
wasn't a
peace.
wash.
Rest in
That's what he
peace.
said.
Capital C's was
Yeah.
nice.
I don't count that one only because we didn't know who Joey was and we didn't know who Steez was at the time. But maybe. But yeah, that's a good one. That's such a great record, man. Rest in peace to Steez, though.
Luke the Boss 7 says, I feel like Jay-Z tried to wash Kendrick on the Don't Kill My Vibe remix, but Kendrick heard Jay's verse and went hard on the second verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We got Chef_7 says, I don't know, Effing Problems was just different for its time. Then you got Big Stacks 100 says, Jay smoked the song, M rode the beat better. I guess they're talking about
Renegade.
Yeah.
That chorus was crazy.
But that record also existed before Jay. Renegade was originally Eminem. Eminem produced the record, and the original version was Eminem and Royce the 5'9".
Yes.
Jay heard it and was like, yo, can I have this for Blueprint? And they removed Royce's verse. M's verses stayed the same, and Jay interjected his verse.
And if I remember correctly, Royce has the hottest verse on the record.
What?
Arguably.
Yeah, like
Is it out?
no, yeah, you can find it on YouTube, but like
well, yeah, you can find it.
you can find it. But when you, but
I'm like,
'cause
wait.
I remember when I was younger, like that was the joke. It's like, yeah, we feel like Eminem washed Jay, but like really Royce washed them both.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Good
I like
gym.
that.
I gotta
Yeah,
listen to it.
yeah.
All right. Well, now we're on to our final segment of the show that we do every week. It's called My Rotation. It's this time where we each give a pick as to what we're listening to, whether it's a single, whether it's an album, or an artist. It's only right that because you are a special guest, we'll let you go first, Jock. Is there a song, a record, an artist that you've been bumping a little bit more lately?
So the one that I sent in, I have two. Okay, the one I sent in was Q Soul Represent, which is great record. Very funky, very disco vibes. Like really, really into it. And also, I've been listening to the new K-Tramine.
Great album.
So good.
Yeah, like I feel like the production carries. Like, you know, I like Amine. I'm not the biggest fan of Amine, but like I really feel like K-Tronada really did his thing. And I also feel that IDK and K-Tronada's collaboration was a better collab than K-Tramine's right now.
Fair.
Like last year.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite albums of the year last year. That was only so short, but yeah, it's good.
Okay. All right, Rob, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Armani White. Proud of Me. Armani White featuring Friday off of his Road to Casablanca album or project. I don't know if they're classifying it as an album, but I'm real interested to see where Armani White goes. Like Billie Eilish, obviously he came through with that, and I was like, okay, this record is fun. I thought Goated with him and Denzel Curry was like great. The energy on that is amazing. And then off of this project right now, Road to Casablanca, Proud of Me, is a dope record. It's more of it's not really emotional, but it shows more of maybe his vulnerability. We get to learn of who he is a little bit more. So I'm like, damn, maybe Armani White is like here to stay. Like I think he has a long career. I don't think he's just gonna be the Billie Eilish guy.
Armani can rap.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to like before Billie Eilish came out, he did not make that type of music, and like his music was way more personable. And he was rapping. But I like that he's bringing it back with this record.
Yeah, that's dope. So that's my pick.
It has a feature. You said Friday.
Friday. You know the guy who sung.
I'm
God
familiar.
did.
God did.
I'm familiar. The amazing vocals on God Did, which is funny because my rotation pick for this week is the
God
Friday
Did?
song as well.
Oh, I thought it was God
nice.
did. Oh my God! Again,
Yeah.
you do that
Oh, he
already?
does this twice
Please
to
don't
us
forgive
already.
me for what the stove. No, I'm just playing. It's a song called God Sent by Friday featuring
That's on that
Vori.
project. Yep.
Bro, it's incredible. It's on Friday's project. Vori and Friday have a very similar sound, and so to hear them both on the record together was fire. It's kind of like gives me like soul church vibes. You know what I mean? So that's my pick. Nyla, what you got?
So I sent in 2 this week, but I feel like one doesn't really count. So it's Beyonce and Kendrick, America's Got a Problem. And the only reason why I want to shout out that record
Roasting.
is because it's so cute. But I like that one because when Renaissance dropped, that was my favorite one off the album. And it wasn't getting no love, no TikToks, no spins, no nothing. But that was my favorite one. I spun the hell of it. So I think it's cool to see that Kendrick hopped on that record of all of them. I just feel like it goes to show somebody knows how to pick a hit. Secondly, my second song is off of Summer Walker's new EP. If you guys haven't heard it already, it's
Really good.
phenomenal. It definitely made me tear up. It was super emotional because the whole project is just like an ode to like black women and black women's struggle from relationships to managing life. So if you guys haven't already, definitely check out Summer's new EP. And my favorite song on there is called Hard Life. So that's my pick for the week.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right, we'll check it out. Indeed. Gabe, it's your time to shine, my
Right.
brother.
So the first record actually just dropped today. Sleepy Hollow. He got locked up again. Him and Chef got locked up again. Free the guys. But
Flatbush.
Sleepy and TJ dropped a new song today called Pain Talk. Literally came out right before this show, funny enough. So that's out now. So please make sure y'all go stream that for the guys. And then my second song that I picked, because I had 2, I think this is going to be one of the songs of the summer. If not out here, definitely in the Caribbean. Taliban's Byron Messiah. I hope I say his name correctly. He was born in Jamaica, lives in St. Kitts. Hope I say that correctly, but that song has been in heavy rotation. He just dropped he has a music video out for it, just dropped his From the Block performance. Shout out my brother Aze. So if you haven't checked out that song, definitely check it out because I feel like you're gonna be hearing it a lot this summer, especially if you be out on the Parkway.
Okay, on the
Oh my
Parkway.
God.
Stay away on Labor Day, man.
I wanna
It's
stay
too
alive.
crazy.
I mean, I went on Labor Day. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was.
No, it's lit. But,
it was great.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
High risk, high reward indeed.
Yeah.
All right, we got some good stuff coming this week on Twitch. Rotation Radio on AMP with Gabe. And Nyla is back tomorrow.
Yep.
What can people expect tomorrow and this upcoming Tuesday?
Just talking new music. You know, Kodak is dropping, so I'm excited about that.
Yep.
Dirk dropping?
Dirk's
Dirk's
dropping.
dropping.
And here's the thing about the show: like you ask us what to expect, but to be completely honest with you, Speedy, me and her just go on tangents.
That sounds like a great show to me.
Yeah, we just go.
Tuned in.
we go on tangents. We argue. Sometimes Rob chimes in. We argue with Rob. And it's just a good time. We play new music. We're gonna do a UK set tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So we're super excited about that. And then as always, also our interview with Tim and Q, that's out now too. So if you want to check that out, that's on the AMP app. Also, make sure you go check out their show on AMP.
All right. Rotation Roundtable podcast is available on all platforms tomorrow and VOD on Friday. So if you ever miss an episode, you know where to find it. We got Group Thread. They're coming back on Mondays. That's 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch. Breakthrough Live's coming on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And again, we'll be back next week, same time, same place, right here on Twitch, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Jock, thanks for pulling up today, man. You were great.
Yeah, thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
it.
Really appreciate it. Y'all have a great dynamic. I'm happy I was able to play a part in it.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Honored to have you here. Can't wait to see what you'll do next. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you and what they can watch from you right now?
You can find me everywhere on @jmorel_junior. I've been busy the last couple weeks, shooting a lot of pictures, but maybe more TikToks, more commentary. There's an F1 race. I make a lot of F1 content. So
Right.
Monaco's this weekend, so I'm excited for that. Max Verstappen's probably gonna win, but yeah. Hey. And yeah, that's it. Like @jmorel_junior. There's a couple people in the chat that I saw that are my homies, that are my real ones, you know.
Word.
And yeah, keep checking for me. Thanks for
Word.
having me out.
Appreciate you, bro.
No
problem.
Appreciate you sliding.
Yeah.
All right. For Big Nyla, not the little one, Gabe P, Mr. Step In, Step Out, Don't Get Stepped On, OG, the flyest of the bunch, Rob Markman. I'm just Speedy, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.